One of these men will fly your elephant from Rangoon to London for $1.50 a pound. What is your name, please?
My name is Jim Todd.
My name is Jim Todd.
My name is Jim Todd.
Only one of these men is the real Jim Todd. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Betty White, Barry Nelson, and Kitty Carlisle on To Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Brought to you this week by Tristan Nasal Mist, the decongestant nasal spray for relief in seconds from sinus congestion and head cold's distress. Tristan Nasal Mist. Betty, nice to have you back with us. You've been away too long.
Oh, I felt that way too, Bud. It's fun to be here. Thank you.
Glad you found your way. Now, panel, would you open up your envelopes for the first time tonight? Take out this first affidavit and follow along as I read. I, Jim Todd, am Chief Animal Steward for an international overseas airline. So far, I have traveled about 1 million miles, transporting some 38,000 tons of animal life throughout the world each year. We have carried bears, monkeys, tigers, kangaroos, pigs, racehorses, elephants, as well as tons of live fish and some 300 different varieties of birds. Many of our animals require more specialized care than our human passengers. So far, the only animal we have been unable to accommodate on our planes is the giraffe, for obvious reasons. Signed, Jim Todd. Very well, panel. These three gentlemen all claim to be Jim Todd. I guess you could call him airborne animal tender. We'll start our questioning with the star of the Broadway production of Mary Mary, Tom Poston. Tom?
Mary Mary. There's the ex-star sitting right there. He laid a burden on me, Bud.
He's taken a heavy burden off my shoulders.
No, I've taken the burden of working in the show, but he was so great in the show that the usherettes tell me how to read lines because I'm not doing it like that.
I notice the box office is still up.
I would like to ask number 2, please, if you have transported animals from other parts of the world besides Rangoon.
Yes.
Number 3, does altitude influence the way fishes are transported?
Yes, it does.
In what way, number 3?
The pressurization in the water, the bags that we carry the fish in, this has a tendency at certain altitudes to cause an effect of...
Betty.
Thank you.
Number 1, what is the only zoo in the United States to have koala bears?
San Diego Zoo.
Did you by any chance have anything to do with transporting them there?
No.
Number 2, what is the most unusual animal you've ever been called upon to transport?
Duck-billed platypus.
And could you tell me, number 3, where the duck-billed platypus, where you delivered him? Or her? It's hard to tell.
I did not deliver a duck-billed platypus.
Number 2, do you know where a duck-billed platypus, at what zoo in the United States they have a duck-billed platypus?
There's only one in the United States, that is in San Diego.
Thank you.
Barry.
Thank you, Bud. Number 3, what animal is affected most by rough weather?
An elephant.
What do you feed the elephant?
You mean in the flight?
Yes?
Sugar cane.
How often? I mean...
As often as the elephant wants.
What do you do when he gets car sick?
Get out of the way.
Yeah, I left a play to do straight lines. Number 2, what kind of a plane would you fly for an elephant? I mean, what...
DC-7F.
Kitty.
Number 1, what is a rogue elephant?
Would you repeat that, please?
A rogue elephant.
Road elephant?
No, rogue, R-O-G-U-E.
Oh, rogue.
Oh, rogue elephant.
Rogue elephant.
Rogue, that would be a wild elephant.
Number 2, can you tell me what is the smallest animal you've ever transported?
Mice.
A mouse?
Mice.
Mice?
Yeah.
For what?
For veterinary purposes.
And number 3, the largest animal is obviously the elephant.
That is correct.
Number 1, where do you store these animals? Where do they ride in the plane?
In the cabin.
They have no seats, obviously.
That's all we have time for. So get ready with the affidavits, if you will, please, panel, and mark them right now. And, of course, without consultation, vote now for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Our team of challengers will receive the customary $250 for every incorrect vote. All ballots marked? Okay, Tom, for whom did you vote?
I heard someone yell number 1, and I think he may be right. I voted for number 3 because he was so darn polite in answering all my questions.
Betty, what is your choice?
All I know is this is the plane I want the job of stewardess on. This right up my alley. I think there used to be a duck-billed platypus at Chicago. I thought Chicago Zoo was the only one that had a duck-billed platypus. The koala bear answer was right, but I go for 3 because I know that they do transport fish in bags, and vice versa.
Barry.
Well, that was fine. I voted for number 3 because I thought he agreed with Kitty's answers.
All right, Kitty, stand or fall by that.
I voted for number 2. You fooled me with a duck-billed platypus. I thought that he knew where there was one, and I believed him when he said it was San Diego.
So there we have it, with the votes all in, and if you're playing along at home with us, see how you're guessing, because we're going to come to the moment of truth right now and discover which one of these gentlemen actually is the airborne animal tender. So will the real Jim Todd please stand up? Very much. And just to set the record straight, since they fooled you entirely, Jim Todd is the chief animal attendant for KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines. And quite a job he does for KLM. Well, they got a goose egg for that one. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do?
My name is Kenneth Langridge, and I'm the General Service Manager for Roots Motors Incorporated in New York City.
Number 3, you got the, what should we say, lion's share of the vote. What is your real name and what do you do, sir?
My name is Robert Van Beaver, and I'm the New York manager of Golf Digest magazine.
Well, now we come to the moment that spreads smiles over all of your 3 faces, namely that you have completely baffled the panel. And, of course, that means they were all incorrect. 4 of them at $250 each. Total, $1,000 for you gentlemen from Dristan, and, of course, a gift package of all the fine products from the makers of Dristan. Thank you very much for brightening our evening so nicely. Good night to you, and God bless you. Panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Celeste Ruey. My name is Celeste Ruey.
My name is Celeste Ruey.
Very well, panel, you've had a good look. Now give a good listen and follow along, if you will, please, with your copies of this affidavit. I, Celeste Ruey, am a policewoman with a rather unusual and dangerous assignment. I am a decoy. My job is to attract muggers, mashers, purse snatchers, and other hoodlums. Naturally, my work requires special training. I am an expert shot with a pistol and am proficient at the not-so-gentle art of judo. In addition, I carry a 2-way radio and am always covered by plainclothesmen and police dogs. Since the decoy squad has been activated, the street crime in our city has decreased substantially. Attacks I have been involved in have resulted in 30 arrests. Signed, Celeste Ruey. Ladies this time, each one claiming to be Celeste Ruey, policewoman decoy. Let's start the cross-examination with the star of the forthcoming motion picture version of Mary Mary, Barry Barry. Barry.
Sounds like a disease.
It's not. It is. Believe me, it's not.
Number three, could you tell me the difference between judo and karate?
Well, karate is a form of, in other words, if I hit you in the back of the neck, I could break your neck.
Yes.
And judo is the type, if I threw you over my shoulder, well, that would be judo.
I'll take your word for this. Number two, could you tell me the caliber of pistol that you carry?
Yes, the 38 Colt.
And number one, what is the hole that you would use to subdue a man immediately if you were confronted by somebody who snatched your purse?
To subdue him?
Yeah.
I would try to throw him over my shoulder.
Could you tell me, number two, the name of the brand of the radio that you use, the two-way radio?
Motorola.
Number three, what... pardon me, I think there's a hoodlum at the door.
Well, I'd like to say that I admire all three of these ladies. I think it's a marvelous job and terribly difficult, and I think it's wonderful. Number one, can you tell me how did you happen to get into this? Were you originally a policewoman?
Yes, I was.
Number two, what do you do to attract a mugger? Or do you do anything, or do you wait for them to come to you?
No, it's not that obvious. Just walking down the street.
And then they will come to you.
That's
Number
right.
three, what kind of dogs are used in this work?
Shepherds, German shepherds.
What happens if someone does attack you? What does the dog then do?
Well, it will go for the person's arm, the attacker's arm.
What sort of a signal do you give to the dog?
Well, immediately, if somebody attacks me, the dog will make his move.
Number one, would a man attack you if a dog is walking next to you?
Tom
Poston. Number one, what is a kosh? Do you know?
Kosh?
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Number two, do you know the origin of the word fuzz?
Fuzz?
Do you know what
it means policeman, but I don't know the origin of it.
Thank you. Where did you learn judo, number two?
Where did I? At school. The police officer school.
Nowhere privately?
No.
Number three, what is mugging? Mugging, by definition. Can you tell me?
Mugging would be if I came up to you and attacked you.
Number two,
You want to pursue that, Tom?
well, I don't think anybody should get arrested for it.
All right, Betty.
Thank you, Bud. Number one, police dogs are being used rather recently, are they not, in New York City?
I don't know.
Number two?
I don't know.
Number three?
Police dogs in New York City? I wouldn't know about that.
Well, let's try it another way. Number three, your use of dogs in the park patrol is very frankly based on the success they've had with them in what city?
Well, they've had them in several cities. I don't know all of them offhand.
Number two, your police commissioner admitted that they had such success in one city that he put them on the park patrol. Could you tell me what city that was?
I believe it was St. Louis.
Number one, what is...
That's all the time we have, I'm sorry to
What
say.
the right answer is what
But
I'm
it's
saying.
time for you now to vote, so will you please do so? Mark your ballots immediately without consultation and vote for number one, number two, or number three.
Oh, I can't.
Oh, I can't either.
All right, mark them up there. Mark them up. Time's a wasting. All right, all marked. Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
It's just a guess. I thought that they were all quite well trained, whether by the police force or by this staff. Treacherous.
So your vote was for number one, correct?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Betty.
I voted for number two. I second-guessed Kitty. Whichever one of you it is, congratulations on a job beautifully done. It was St. Louis that I was after. I never got back to number one.
Barry.
I don't know, but I thought I heard a voice cry, number one, as if from some celestial place. But on second thought, I think it was a lady from the balcony. I give you a very earthbound number one.
Kitty.
I voted for number one. I think she has a rather steely and serene look of a woman who's pretty sure of herself in any situation.
All right, once again, we come to the moment when we find out who's right and who's wrong, which we will immediately, as we learn which one of these ladies actually is the policewoman Decoy. So, will the real Celeste Ruey please stand up?
No.
Well, they came back. Panel came back from the brink of defeat. And there's the gentleman down there moving the incorrect vote away.
We're all friends here.
Taking
It was a
himself.
celestial voice.
It was a celestial voice, after all. I also think it's only fair that we give our
I just got
thanks.
that. I think her name is Celeste. Oh, yeah.
I didn't get it at all.
Our thanks to the police department of
Ruey
St.
that
Louis,
day.
Missouri, for making it possible for Celeste Ruey to be here with us tonight, with or without her celestial voice. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Robin Lowenberg. I'm an office manager in West Orange, New Jersey.
And number 3, may we have your name and what you really do?
My name is Bernice Thomas. I'm a professional baseball player.
Hey, listen, Bud.
Yes, quickly, how much time?
Why didn't you have a policeman here in his makeup and stuff for one of the contestants?
Another time.
All
No,
right.
Another time. That's another story altogether. Okay, in checking the score, we find that the panel was real smart this time. They had to come back from somewhere after their first round of losing them all. So that was only one incorrect at $250 to be divided among you. But I hope you had a good time. We certainly enjoyed having you here. And you also received from Dristan, as well as that, a gift of all the fine products made by Dristan. Thanks again for being with us. Good night. God bless you. All right, panel, let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ken Haynes.
My name is Ken Haynes.
My name is Ken Haynes.
Will you follow along once more with your copies of an affidavit, panel? I, Master Sergeant Kenneth Haynes, am a cooking teacher. My classes consist entirely of men, and our curriculum consists of courses in nutrition, cooking in the mess, and messing in the field. Although I once cooked a meal for 2,000, all of our recipes are based on serving 100. This Thanksgiving, cooks of the armed services throughout the world will serve up some 112,000 pounds of turkey, 500,000 pounds of sweet potatoes, and 250,000 pounds of cranberry sauce. My own particular specialty is hors d'oeuvre. Signed, Kenneth Haynes. Incidentally, panel, the display there of hors d'oeuvre on the table that you see prepared before you, these were all done, prepared by Sergeant Haynes before we went on the air. Don't they look lovely? Well, tasty, toothsome morsels, I think you'll agree. Now, don't despair, because we're going to give you all a chance to sample Mr. Haynes' ware in just a little while. But right now, these gentlemen having all claimed to be Sergeant Haynes, Master Sergeant and cooking instructor, let's find out who's going to start off, and it'll be Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you,
Kitty?
Bud. Number 1, what is a pig in a blanket?
You will find some on the table later.
Thank you. Number 2, what is marjoram?
Marjoram is a seasoning. It's a spice.
Number 2, what is cadmium? Oh, 3, I'm so sorry.
Number 3?
Yes, what is cadmium?
This is a type of metal coating, I believe.
Thank you. Number 1, what size of cauldrons do you cook your vegetables in?
It depends what we're cooking for, ma'am.
Well, for 100, let's say.
It would depend on the vegetable, too, ma'am.
Well, say it was string beans.
Well, we could use 10 gallons.
Number 2, do you cook with butter or water?
Tom Poston.
Thank you. Number 2, you got any shingles on you? What?
I was asked not to talk about that, sir.
Well, maybe number 3 wouldn't mind telling us what a shingle is in the Army. Do you know number 3?
I think you're referring to creamed beef on toast.
Oh, that's something else. I was just talking about the shingle. Number 3, what is a leek?
A leek is a type of vegetable.
Along what lines, number 2, please?
It's a root vegetable similar to a carrot or a turnip.
Number 1, what is fennel? Do you happen to know what fennel is?
Yes, sir. We use it in bacon.
In baking?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Betty.
Thank you, but I have to ask, is this an enrollment gimmick, or is this regular Army fare, what I see spread out there?
Which one do you want to ask?
You.
I would say no, quickly and emphatically.
I would think so. Number 1, how much dressing would you make for 100 turkeys?
For 100 turkeys? I've never made 100 turkeys, man.
Well, say you were showing your class how to cook number 3. Cook 100 turkeys.
How to cook number 3?
That's messing in the field.
Well done. Number 3, if you were cooking 100 turkeys, how much dressing would you make?
I would say approximately 5 pounds of dressing per turkey.
Barry.
Number 2, is this uniform the one that you use?
This is the one I use when I'm cooking.
It's not like the one you use. It is the actual one you use?
This is the actual uniform I use.
How long does it take to cook a 15-pound turkey?
15-pound turkey cooked at a 350-degree oven would take approximately 3 hours.
This may save a lot of Thanksgivings for everybody. Number 1, could you tell me what a thermometer should register when you cook a pork roast when it's finished?
It could register up to 400. It would also depend on your roast, sir.
Number 3, what is monosodium glutamate?
It is used to accent.
Thank you. Number 1, what is dill?
Dill is about the time we have now, and that namely null. So we have to stop questioning and get to the business of marking ballots. Will you kindly do so? Immediately, without change, of course, and naturally, as always, without consultation. As you vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All set, all ballots marked? Tom, which one did you select this trip?
I voted for number 3. I was particularly fond of the straightforward and forthright way in which he answered the questions. Also, I had a feeling that some of the answers that he gave were correct, and that influenced my vote tremendously. It usually does.
Betty, what is your choice?
I'm glad to know I'm not alone anyway. I voted for number 3.
Did you? Won't do any good to switch those.
No, it won't help at all. And being the great authority, my specialty is cheese and crackers. That's about all I can cook. But I think he's the sneaky one tonight.
Barry.
Well, I voted for number 3. I thought he gave the most forthright answers, too, which probably will do us all in.
Kitty, you going to make it unanimous? No.
I voted for number 1, although he said fennel was used in baking, and I think it's a vegetable. But, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Number 3 said that cadmium was used for something else, and it's a spice. So I voted for number 1. It's probably number 2. No, and I know why. Number 1 looked at the table with a great sense of pride and a kind of paternal affection.
Probably just hungry, honey. Probably just hungry.
I look that way, too.
All right, there we have it with all the votes in and the minds made up rather conclusively. And for 3 of them at least, let's find out how close we've come to the truth this time as we learn which of these gentlemen actually is the cooking instructor and master sergeant. So will the real Kenneth Haynes please stand up? Oh, you got it! Look at that! Well, we made a big comeback tonight. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. After your bad beginning, you sure have come through the swift closing, all of you. Yes, sir.
Do you really need 5 pounds of dressing for a turkey?
I say approximate.
Seemed like an awful lot to me.
Well, that's shoes and purse and gloves.
Oh, little odds and ends that go in.
Kind of dressing.
There'll be letters.
It's not formal dressing.
No, not for a...
All right, and checking over the score, then this time I want to find out first about these other 2 stalwart gentlemen. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do, sir?
My name is Bob O'Connor. I'm a salesman. I sell Norelco hearing aids and Norelco electric shavers.
And number 2, may we have your name and what you do?
My name is Bob Steinecker. I'm the New York salesman for Dubarry Cosmetics for Lovelier Women.
Well, gentlemen, I'm sorry that we were smart again for the second time tonight, and that means only 1 incorrect. That's $250 for you gentlemen to divide amongst you from, of course, Tristan, and from Tristan also, a gift package of all their fine products. Thank you for being with us. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Good night. God bless you. Time we have tonight except for one serious note. 12 million arthritis victims wait for a cure from this painful disease, and you can certainly help. So give now to your local chapter of the Arthritis Foundation. Give today, won't you? Don't forget to join us again the same time next week and join me tomorrow on the afternoon daytime show. Panel, would you please join our guests and everyone for some hors d'oeuvre? Please step up there. I'll join you in a minute. This is Bud Collier saying good night for Tristan and reminding you to tell the truth. Bye.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. Tell the Truth has been brought to you tonight by Wizard Room Deodorizer. For special rooms, buy new unscented Wizard. Buy every Wizard. Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth. This program was pre-recorded.